What's up everybody, and welcome back. Today I obviously have a manga finale review, which I know I haven't done so many yet, but I love doing because it makes me feel like, how well did I do with this recommendation? And I don't think I did that bad with this one. So Chieri's Love is 8 Meters has surprisingly and unsurprisingly come to a quick end. The manga ran from 2022 to 2025, which isn't a short amount of time, but it ended with only 63 chapters, where I thought this would have been closer to Hokkaido Gal's length of around 120 or at least around 100, but I'm not surprised that this ended short. If you haven't read this yet, it's a comedy romance school life about Kotaki Yumeji and Umine Chieri. She's 8 meters tall or 26 feet, and the two are childhood friends, but Chieri moved away in grade school and they were obviously in love. And during the time they were apart, Chieri one day, before moving back and transferring into the same school Yumeji was in, she mysteriously grew to 8 meters in one night. From there, it's obviously a cute romance comedy with the twist of her being a giant, which is a great twist, and it really sets up a lot of fun things that happen. It's adorable and wholesome with most of the stereotypical romance tropes, just with, you know, a giant girl twist, and for the most part, it's fantastic, and I would still recommend it fully. But the problem for me obviously comes in its length. That's not to say that the ending was rushed, because it seems to have been set up for the last maybe 10 chapters, and with only 63, that's a pretty good percentage. So it's not one of those all of the sudden 3-chapter endings. But that can be a problem also, that a good chunk of this manga is a setup for the ending. So it makes it feel like it's been coming to an end for a while, which isn't a big problem for me, but the problem for me is the ending solves and unsolves the mystery of her growth. So even though the story and their relationship advances to the part that they're an official couple, it makes her 8-meter story arc kind of pointless, at least the ending arc of it. And if you want to know why, I'm about to spoil it now. If you want to read it for yourself, then click off and then come back after finishing it to see if you agree or not. But so what we find out is that when Yumeji and Chieri, they made a promise that they would be together when they were bigger. And the night that Chieri grew, she was thinking of the promise they made and wished so desperately for that time to come that she grew to 8 meters. So when Yumeji was confessing his feelings to her and fell and kissed her, I guess subconsciously she took that as wish fulfilled and went back to her normal size. And you think all would end well because she's normal size, but since Yumeji's confession was interrupted, they aren't really dating since he never got around to that part, so he confesses again and asks her out. Chieri obviously says yes and immediately grows back to 8 meters because the assumption is now that they're together, she wished to get married to Yumeji, which don't get me wrong, it's cute for what it is, but to me it defeats the point of caring about why she ever grew or how to undo it. If every time new progress is made in her life with Yumeji, you're basically telling me Chieri's going to grow again. On top of that, there's another giant girl who appears in the last chapter. We never see her, she's only mentioned, but it sounds like this is going to become an epidemic in their world. And it also sounds like it was kind of set up to keep going, but I guess it just got axed? I'm not sure, but I would have preferred that the mystery and the solution to the mystery of her becoming a giant, when it was solved, that it stayed solved. Now, I'm not gonna say that the ending is bad, because I don't think it is. I've seen much worse, but it's like I said earlier, since the setup to the ending was such a large part of the story, it feels like, why did you make me care about why she grew and how to undo it if you're gonna tell me the answer to both basically doesn't matter because it's gonna keep happening? Now, that doesn't necessarily make the ending bad to me, it's just I feel like I was set up for the ending to go in a different way, and it's kind of like the rug got pulled out from under my feet, because you make me think, okay, now that we know why, now that it's solved, they're gonna be able to have a nice little cutesy, I guess, romance comedy life that we just don't get to see typically, but then you you just undo it? So why did you make me care in the first place? Because a part of what was going on in the ending was a question of, if we could find out how to make you small again, is that something that you would want? And it kind of gets answered with she would like to be small again so that her and Yumeji could be like together like that, but then it completely gets thrown out the window, or at least that's how I feel about it. Regardless, I still enjoyed it as a whole, and I'd still recommend it, but the ending for me hurts it a little. But it's still fun, it's still cute, it's still adorable and wholesome, so it's still worth reading if you want a unique romance comedy that isn't very long. I would just say, honestly, kind of ignore the parts about her being a giant girl, or at least the solution, the why, because none of that in the end apparently matters. If you enjoyed the manga, let me know what you thought of the conclusion in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want more, check out the Why You Should playlist in the description below. Other than that, I'll see all of you in the next one.